This is part B of the instructional video for learning the law of the lid. First of all, we're going to start with our reading that we had, and it was the leadership ability. You should have your handout that was emailed to everyone, and your email, the law says leadership ability determines a person's level of effectiveness. The law of the lid will help you understand the value of leadership. And if you get a handle on this law, you will see the incredible impact of leadership in every aspect of your life. I'm not going to go in detail about what this article is about because I don't have that much time like I would normally have in class, but normally we would discuss our reading if we had anything and see if we had any current events that apply to this law of the lid. Then after that, I would hand out my paperwork for our classroom assignments for that day. And it's 3 pages, and it would look like this. And each student would get a handout of 3 pages. And I was trying to just go over what the 3 pages are. But these were what they would be doing in class. Okay. The first part that I will present to is just basic about the law of the lid, what you're going to learn. Here is what you can expect to learn from the process we engage in the laws. We will learn the law as an overview. We will discuss living the law. We will lead others to the law. Okay, and another point that the article makes, or this training class would learn, is leadership ability is the lid that determines a person's level of effectiveness. I'll say that again. Leadership ability is the lid that determines a person's level of effectiveness. The lower an individual's ability to lead, the lower the lid on his potential. So if I can only, as a leader, if I can only lead my followers to point B of the ABCDEF, or to level 3, that's as far as they will be able to go. They can only go as far as I would be able to lead them. Effective, I'm sorry. The next thing that we would do, I'm looking this up. The next thing that we do is whatever you accomplish will be respected, and it will be propel you in the ability to lead others. Then we go in to discuss a little bit about the self-evaluation after we have done this. The first day we will only do probably 2 laws. That's the way we did it, 2 laws. The first, and some of the things that you graded yourself on, and these were the things that you were graded on. Your self-assessment is level from 1 to 10. What is your number? Your character, charisma, commitment, communication, competence, courage, discernment, focus, generosity, initiative, listening, passion, positive attitude, problem solving, relationships, responsibility, security, self-discipline, servanthood, teachability, and vision. Now, some people had different definitions, so we would describe what each, because per differences, if we took discernment, everybody may have their own different definition of what discernment is, so we would discuss that, and then you would grade yourself on your level of that. You were also supposed to get at least 3 other people, give them this handout, and they were supposed to grade you on what they thought you had on these qualities and characteristics. And then you bring them in, and then we would discuss those. You have them bring it back in. Then you would discuss what your bottom number is. You take your total number from 1 to 10 and how many total up all that you had, and then you divide that by 20, and then that would give you your quotient for what your level of leadership ability is. Um, the main thing that John Maxwell pushes is to work with your strengths. A lot of times we want to see our weaknesses and focus on our weaknesses, but he says we need to stress our strengths. Here are some things that you can do to raise your lid. Value experience with reflection, invest in training, have mentorship and coaching, masterminds and focus. Do something beyond yourself. Reflect on who has been a lid lifter in your life and what characteristics make them a lid lifter. All this is in our reading. These are just some of the things that we would discuss during class. Make a stop doing list. That was one of the things that we had at the bottom of at the class that you talked about, the law of the lid and what it was about. One of the PowerPoints, which I don't have, was John Wooden. It was a video with him, and it showed him on leadership. He's the basketball coach, and he talks about how um, adversity. A lot of times, people think that when you have problems, when you're in leadership, that it's easy, but it's not. And adversity is a way to assist you when you're going higher. Uh, um, the bottom line, and after that, what I will want you to do is after we would go over and discuss the handouts, we would work the handouts. There's paper things that have to be filled in that we would discuss in the law, and whatever anybody else had, we'd have discussion over the PowerPoint, discussion over the handouts. Um, then we would have discussion as a group about anybody would have any concerns. We would go over exactly what the law of the lid, which I'm not going in a whole lot of that because I don't have the time to describe what that would be about. But if you have the reading, that's what we would discuss in there. At the end of the class, we were going to close with, you have the last 3 minutes, you'd have closing with positive affirmations and a reflection assignment. Each day after you complete your assignment, you go home, you're supposed to reflect on it, how these laws apply to you as a leader. Keep a journal, have a positive affirmation the positive affirmation would be that you would have for this day would be like, nothing more, nothing less. If you lead, you will influence. Leadership is not title, position, or power. It's about influence. So a positive affirmation that I would lead is that anybody can do leadership is with this law of the lid, and that you have to learn how to push yourself further so that you can train the people who are under you. That will be the first. Of course, there are, like I said, there are 21 laws. This is just the very first law, and a lot of it has to do with the discussion over the reading, the PowerPoints, but that would be the presentation that I would give, or learning a lesson plan towards this class. John Maxwell, this is his book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, John Maxwell Philosophy, copyright 2011 by Martinelli and Associates. You can find this book online. In closing, we want to make sure that at the end that all the students will come away with knowing the importance of the qualities and characteristics of being a leader. Thank you for your attention.